Okay, let's see if anybody shows up. Can y'all hear me? I know the last video it was kind of low, so nobody could really hear me, which I apologize for. But, technical difficulties happen. I can't help that. I just took my iPad out of this case because it said I had to do it up and down and not side to side. So that was a little bit difficult to get that thing out of there. If nobody, well, hello, Big Dreams. By the way, that floor is fabulous. I love it. Hello, Beth Sunflower. How are you this evening? I assume it's evening where you're at. I don't really know. It's evening here for sure. It is 10:48. I tried to go to bed, but I really wasn't sleepy. And then, on top of that, my husband was a snoring. And when he does that, I could just throw that pillow over the top of him. Oh, okay, Missouri. Missouri's a nice place. I've been to Missouri. Well, I've driven through Missouri, I should say. I haven't ever spent the night there. You wanted to smother somebody with a pillow? Yeah, I just wanted you to just be quiet. Oh, you're also in. I did not realize that you were also in Missouri. Why did I think you were in California? Because I'm old and crazy. That's why. But so anyway, I right now y'all are on my iPad, and I had to get it out of this container because it said I couldn't go horizontal. I have to go vertical, and my little clip wouldn't hold. I tell you what, some of this technical stuff really does get to me. I just like, okay, I really don't know what to do. I'm just like, okay, whatever, you know. But is everyone having a good evening? Hello, awesome. You don't care? Okay, that's fine. You don't have to care. Nobody has asked you to care. I care. But at any rate, back to what I was talking about. Thank you, Big Dreams. I appreciate that. I love having good people as my moderators and good people who come on and are kind. Uh, you can talk about anything you want to. I pretty diverse, but I thought it would be interesting. I want y'all to try to guess what you think I did for a living before I had my babies and stopped working and everything and retired. What do you think my job was? Interesting, huh? Well, I hope you liked your friends, Granny. Nope, I was not a teacher. I did teach Sunday school briefly, but that didn't last long. I got to get my beverage. Uh, it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it or anything, but quite honestly, I am a lazy churchgoer. That's pretty much it. So, didn't last long with the Sunday school teaching. My husband is the head maintenance man. He can fix anything. I love that about him. My daddy, he couldn't fix nothing. I mean, seriously, he had to call somebody to do anything. And so I have always been very drawn to people who have the ability to fix things. I find that's very attractive to me. I'm not Not that I'm going to take advantage of it. Well, I do probably with him. I hope so too. Nope, I was not in daycare. However, I do love me some children. I do love children. I did babysit a lot. In fact, I started babysitting when I was really young. I babysat for some very, well, I'll be quite honest, very wealthy families. Um, but the children were just, well, hello there, sweetie. I don't know how to say your name. Little Fox. Little Fox, hi. Um, but yeah, I did babysit a lot. And I have actually babysat throughout my entire life because I do like children. Uh, I like a lot of children. Hello, Christina. I like children more than I like adults in a lot of instances. They're so innocent. And when they say something, they generally speaking don't say it with malice or cruelty. Um, and if they do, you can correct them. Where sometimes adults you just can't correct. You know, when I took a shower tonight, I used this frankincense soap that my husband bought and smelling like a baby Jesus. But it's an interesting smell. Frankincense and myrrh. But it's supposed to have some kind of healing properties of some sort. Hey, Darlene, how you doing? Uh, I came on tonight because I couldn't sleep. So I thought, well, are you laughing because I smell like baby Jesus with my frankincense and myrrh? Um, but you know, sometimes some of the stuff that he'll bring home, he's a very fragrant oriented person. He likes, you know, like room sprays and uh, soaps and laundry soaps and all this and that. You can always tell when he goes to the store. He went to the store earlier today because he needed some soda. The man loves him some soda. And he come back, I bet you he spent $200. I'm like, okay, really? Did you buy the stuff on the grocery list? Mm-mm, no, he did not. That mother and I had to go back to the store later on to get the stuff that we actually did need. But bless his heart, he does try. So, did anybody accomplish anything grand today? I know, Big Dreams, you did a beautiful job on that floor. I did a little bit of gardening today, and I did go to the Walmart. And really and truly, that's about all I've accomplished. I didn't really accomplish much at all. Mama and I went to the store, like I said, and then, hey, Fish and Ray, and then, yeah, I didn't even cook. My husband cooked today. Bless his heart. He likes to cook, so I'm all for it. You know, sometimes I just don't really accomplish a whole lot in a day, but I don't feel bad about it. Ugh, laundry, the vein of my existence. I'll tell you what happened about our laundry. Our washer and dryer are in our garage. And a while back, there was a snake got in our garage. Granny don't do snakes. And so I said, until I know there is viable proof that there is no snake in that garage, I'm not going out there. So my husband does the laundry. He takes it out there and does it and everything. He does a good job, but he brings it inside for me to fold. Now, I love him dearly. He's the nastiest nice person you ever met in your life. I bet you that man can change clothes 5 times in a day. I do not understand it. He took 2 showers today and he ain't done nothing but sit on the couch and watch TV. Well, he did go to the grocery store. That's it. That's all he did today. 2 showers and change clothes. I know at least 3 times. I don't understand it. It's not like you're nasty, but at least I don't have to worry about him walking around being stinky. Anyway, I know I'm very blessed that he is willing to be so helpful and so kind and stuff. But I try to, I try to do my fair share. Run the vacuum cleaner. However, we do have one of the little things that goes zzz all over the house. It don't really work all that great. I think it's because we have too much furniture. Number one, and we got that big old dog, and he has that kind of coarse dog hair, and we also have a cat. But the dog and the cat don't get along, so you can't have them in the same room at the same time. That's a little bit of an adventure in itself. But and then of course with so many people, hello, I love froggies. Well, I don't really love froggies, but I appreciate that the aquatic animals. Um, I don't like them because they jump out at you. Like you be walking and they'll just jump out at you, the frogs. But anyway, so I have that vacuum cleaner and it really does not do very well. And then he bought me one of them fancy, what's it called? Dyson? Dyson vacuum cleaners. Now I like it a lot. It's very lightweight, but I have to empty it a lot because of the dog hair. And so that's a little bit. If y'all hear laughter, male laughter, that's my son. He and his buddies are playing something on my leg. Oh, it's the strap. Um. Anyway, they're playing some video game. He's been playing that thing all day long. I had to go back there a little while ago and say we've been in the same house together all day today. Oh, see, my dog is not scared of the vacuum. My old dog did not like the vacuum cleaner, but this dog, who will be 3, Mercy, he'll be 3 pretty soon. Um, he don't care. He don't care. He don't care about thunder. He don't care about the vacuum cleaner. He's just a lazy old dog. But my other dog, he was terrified of thunder and lightning and hated those loud noises. Um, Now this dog is much more of a protector. He's going, if somebody comes to that door, merciful heavens. It don't matter who it is. It can even be my husband. He's gonna bark and have a hissy fit. He's extremely protective of myself and the grandbaby, which is good, but it's unusual for a Labrador to be that protective. Anyway, I love him. He does his thing. Okay, well, see, sometimes rescue dogs, you just don't know the history and why they might be so frightened of anything, a sound. Uh, it's like the dog that we have now, Max. Uh, he doesn't like it. Like if you uh, like if my husband were to like just reach over and push me, not hard or ugly or anything, he would not like that. And oh Lord, don't be messing with that baby, because he don't like that at all. Um, so he doesn't like for people to um, become physical, I guess is the word. Um, I guess maybe he's jealous. Who knows? We'll see. Now, a border collie's in Spanish. I used to have, good evening, Nicole. I used to have a Springer Spaniel, and he was beautiful. He was a beautiful little dog, but he was little. I think he had to have been a mix, but he was sweet. He was a sweet little dog. Um, I have always had dogs. Um, and I've always had cats too, but um, mostly I'm really more of a dog person than I am a cat person. My daughter has a cat that I just love. I love that dog, that little kitty cat. I would take her in a heartbeat. And I did have a cat that lived for almost 18 years. And she was a sweetie. She was a sweetie. I love that cat. Um, but I've had basset hounds. I've had white German shepherds. Um, I've had the Springer Spaniel. I had a Doberman mix. Um, but mostly the Black Labrador Retrievers. Those have been our kind of go-to dogs. Now my sister and her husband, they uh, they are also Labrador Retriever people. They're just sweet dogs. They're just sweet. I mean, that's all there is to it. And they got the best little floppy ears to love on. Oh, see, my sister's is a chocolate lab, and they're just the sweetest. They're precious, precious, precious. But they, but they do shed a lot. Well, at least ours does, and I think it's because we don't really ever have a true winter here in Florida. So that undercoat that they acquire for the winter months, because they're going to grow it. I mean, it's just um they don't need it. So it's constantly just shed, 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 shed. Our dog don't like to go outside. Now he'll go outside and he'll tell you when he needs to go outside, but he don't want to stay outside. And he won't get in our pool, which is, a little odd. But he likes to go for a truck ride. He's never been in any of my cars, but he likes to go for a truck ride. And I know this is gonna sound real bad. I don't know if he can swim or not. Okay, but now see, the problem with a dog here being outside is so hot. It is so hot, and well, there's the fleas and the ticks, of course, and like we have to give them flea and tick stuff year round, and we have to give them heartworm year round. Um, but I also have done the diatomaceous earth, both the this would be the type that they can digest. Um, and I think that that helps a great deal. And I've also put it on him, and I think that that helps to keep some of the bugs away. Um, our yard doesn't have any that I'm aware of. I live in the city. I mean, it's not really a city, but a more urban area than I don't live out in the country. My sister lives out in the country. Um, but yeah, I just he likes to be inside, and quite honestly, I don't want to be out there forever. He'll play ball with me, but let's face it, I get tired of being out there. It's too hot. Um, he likes to go see the chickens. He does like to look at the chickens. I think he's trying to figure out what they are. And when I now when we have an abundance of eggs, I will give him eggs. Now, I don't just give him an egg. I crack it open and put it on his food. But I think that helps his fur a lot because he's really soft. He's super soft. Okay, why is this thing hiding the messages? There we go. Very nice. Um, what type of dogs do y'all like, or do you just? I mean, I've had Well, let me think. Y'all still guessing on what I did in my real world job? So far, you haven't guessed. I can give hints if you really need a hint, but it it's just a little game we can play. I got to figure out what I'm gonna plant tomorrow. I think I'm gonna plant some dill. No, but my daddy was a banker. Um, my dad had quite a few jobs. My sister had a Great Pyrenees, and I think he was bored, quite honestly. And he was because she has no livestock. Um, and he was a house dog, and I don't think. Well, actually, I did do cafeteria lady work at one point, but that was not my job. I did that like not too terribly long ago, just for something to do. Uh, and then when they had my grandbaby, I said, no, I got to stay home and be granny because I was kind of bored. You don't get bored when you get to be a granny. But um, the Great Pyrenees, he sure was a big dog, but he bit my sister. Hmm. And so they had to give him away. They gave him to somebody who had some goats and stuff because, you just can't have a violent dog. And I think that the dog was probably just bored. That's just my own personal opinion. But he was a pretty dog. He did scare my granddaughter though, because he was big. Uh, if I had now, I will tell y'all. Okay, so my mother, who is on a well, she's on a couple of videos. My mother was an airline stewardess, and this would have had to have been in like 1958 through say 60. Yes, I was a pole dancer. No, honey, I could have never. You know what? Even at my tiniest, I don't think I could have pulled myself up on one of them poles. Mm-mm. Not to mention, well, let's just say, it would not have been one of those jobs that my mother would have approved of. Mm-mm. No. However, I have seen people pole dance before. Yes, well, that's a whole nother story. Um, anyway, so my mother was an airline stewardess for Eastern Airlines, and I've got these pictures of her, and they're just precious. I just love them. She, I'm not real sure. I gotta ask her why she stopped being an airline stewardess. I know she liked it, um, but my mother has worked forever. She's just, well, I guess last week is when she stopped working. You're running out of guesses. Well, I'll give you a hint. Uh, I worked at the same establishment, but I did two different jobs. And the first one started off as washing dishes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I progressed. Uh, and in between there, I went to school. Um, no, what was I saying? Everybody would like a tip for $100, but it was what you have to do to get that tip for $100. Well. Um, anyway, so my mother retired, like I said, like last week. So we're trying to find ways to entertain her other than her just sitting here binge watching stuff on the TV. She and I might go see that new Downton movie. No, it was not hotels, but that's a good guess. That's a very good guess. I'll give you another hint. There were a lot of old people. Um, but my mother. So I think we're going to see that new Downton Abbey movie. Uh, either tomorrow or maybe Monday. I'm not sure. I've promised a friend. It was in nursing homes. Yep. I have worked at a hospital before, but mainly I worked in nursing homes. Yep. I started off working in the kitchen, and well, what would you like? I what? Let's see here. Winter chicken dinner. Um, my like I said, I started off doing that, and then it progressed to where I started cooking, uh, and I started cooking a lot. I mean, a lot. So I then thought, they pay this nutritionist person an awful lot of money to plan these meals. I think I could do that. So you could take a class from the University of Florida and get your degree in this. So that's what I did. Your cafeteria guest was very, very good. Hello, Jeff. And then I injured myself. Uh, and so they put me into the office, in the main office. And I basically worked out of the main office from the rest of the time that I worked there. So that's pretty much, and I did all kinds of stuff in that office. But yep, that was my world of working, which I didn't really do it a lot. I mean, when you look at your whole lifespan, uh, I am having a good day. I'm having a pretty lazy day, but it's a good day. When you look at my whole lifespan, I have not worked a lot of my lifespan. Like my Social Security, pitiful, just pitiful. But uh, but that was my choice because I wanted to stay home with my babies. That was my calling, was to stay home with my babies. And I had a really hard time getting my babies. I went through a lot of fertility treatments and stuff. So uh, when I finally got the blessing of my children, I didn't want to let them go. Literally, I did not want to let them out of my sight or out of my arms. So I just pretty much stayed home with them all the time. Oh, Nicole. Oh, honey, I put my phone down sometimes and I'm like, I have to go in there and my son gets angry with me. I'm like, will you call my phone? Why do you put it where you can't find it? I'm like, I don't know. You want me to have it with me all the time in case you want to call me? My son loves to call me on the phone. So I tote it around with me all the time. I've been noticing though lately, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what it is I'm doing, but it just won't ring. People will call me or text me and I don't get no sound. And they showed me this little, it's not really a button, it's more like a little switch on the side of it. That if it shows red, then I'm not going to hear it, but if I put it back the other way, then I'll hear it. Like I say, people, I'm not very technical. So I'm hoping I've got the thing on the right way. And I've got little musical tones for every person. Well, not every person on my phone, but for most people on my phone, like my mother and my husband. And my husband's text is different than his ring because if he rings me, I know I need to address it immediately. If he texts me, you don't have to mess with it quite so quickly. Because if it's an important thing, he'll call you. He won't even bother to text. And usually his texts are really more like, I'm on the way home. That's pretty much his text. Um, my son don't text me that much, but he calls me a lot. My daughter, I don't hear from her all that much. She loves me and I love her, but she lives her life and I don't mess with her. And, every once in a while, send her one say, "You alive? You doing all right?" So she lives in Wisconsin. I've never been to Wisconsin. When she lived in Chicago, we would go up there and visit some. But, you know, and people think it's strange. But, it's like I can remember when I was little, my mother did not talk to her mother all the time. My mother talked to her mother, well, she talked to her every Sunday night. That was kind of like a routine they had because we didn't live in the same town as my grandparents. So I don't think that it's particularly odd that I don't talk to her as much as some people. Some people talk to their kids all the time. Now my son lives here, so obviously I talk to him. Mainly, it's him asking me what's for dinner. But yeah, well, that's all right too. So we had a little tea party. Me and Mama did tonight. We were watching. I don't know what you call it. It's some kind of Canadian Royal Mountie show. It's very innocent. Um, but anyway, so me and her finished the one, something Hope, something or other. But we finished the one series, and we found another one. So now she's all excited because we can watch that one. So we watched like 4 episodes. It's okay. Because quite honestly, she's not going to be here forever. So I need to enjoy the time that I have with her. Y'all got any big plans for tomorrow? Don't everybody jump on at one time. I think if it's not raining, I really want to get out in the yard and do some work. If it's not god awful hot, I'm very particular. Have you noticed? And then I did want to take the car out. Oh, the grocery store. I'm so sorry. I've noticed that you do wear an awful lot of Chiefs stuff. What do you think about Taylor and him getting engaged? Yeah, my son makes these, I don't know what you call them, where he like goes online and they do the shopping and he just goes and picks it up. Or even sometimes he has the stuff delivered. But if I did that, I would miss out on the stuff that was on clearance. Like the bathing suit that I bought today. Well, I like that their families seem to be involved in their relationship and seem to get along. That makes me happy because sometimes you get these people who we're talking about Travis and Taylor right now. But sometimes you get these people and their families just don't get along. And I'm thinking to myself, how do they do the holidays? You know? I know that, like, I'm pretty bad. Well, I shouldn't say I'm bad, but when my babies were born, that was it. If you want to celebrate, you're welcome to come to my house. You can have Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, or whatever. But I'm not going anywhere. We're going to do that here with my babies. And so I've kind of had a little bit of a revolving door of festivities. Uh, I've gotten a little bit better now that my children are grown. However, Christmas, my house. Mm-hmm. I don't care where we do Thanksgiving. I don't care where we do 4th of July. I don't care, whatever. I don't care. But Christmas is my holiday. In fact, I've already started making Christmas ornaments with my granddaughter. It's my holiday. I used to bake a lot of cookies, like a lot of cookies. But I don't do so much of that anymore. I do some of it with my grandbaby, but not as much as I used to because, quite honestly, if I bake them, I want to eat them, and I shouldn't eat them. I shouldn't eat sugar. So I just don't make them. Not as much as, and Chex Mix and fudge. Mm, mm. Can't make Divinity. I like Divinity, but I can't make it. It's too humid here. But oh, and hard candy. My husband loves me to make hard candy. And what else? Well, I'll just make all kinds of stuff. We would just be regular old pigs during the holidays, but I'm not so much anymore. And quite honestly, as far as Thanksgiving, thank you, Nicole. As far as Thanksgiving goes, what do y'all do for Thanksgiving? We've been going to my sister's, and we've been kind of slowly trimming it down, trying to be a little healthier with it, and uh, not make so much food that you got to eat it for the next week. Because I don't really like leftovers. Really, the only person in my family that does is my son, and so it's like, what do you do with all that food? Because like I said, I'm used to cooking for a lot of people. It took me a long time when I first transitioned from cooking for 200. Uh, and it's so funny because every once in a while I'll get a phone call from a church or something, and they'll say, "Could you come and cook for us?" And sometimes I do it. A squirrel? You do you eat these squirrels? Now my neighbor likes squirrels. Well, see, I live in the South, and people eat some strange things down here. They eat possums, and they eat raccoons, and gators, and wild hogs, and all kinds. Something just flew down. I don't know what that was. Lord have mercy. Um, but I've never eaten squirrel. What was it? My cousin was just talking about making some kind of squirrel pie when I was up there. I was like, well, I hope you don't offer me any. I mean, I guess I'd have to be polite and taste it, but no, thank you. Well, if I ever make one, I'll be sure to let you know, Big Dreams. Not that I'm planning on making one. He asked me when I was up there. He said, Do you know how to skin a squirrel?" I'm like, "No, I do not." And that made us start talking about something else. Okay, so my husband likes all these really unique breeds of chickens. Okay, so I think we've got 13 chickens now. And anyway, he found this breed. We don't have one, but the skin of the chicken is black. So if you're going to eat that chicken, the skin of it is black. I don't know about that. I mean, if I was in a starving thing, yes. But just for my own personal, like, you're going to raise chickens to eat? No, I don't think so. Yeah, that just sounds peculiarly odd. I'm not doing that. And I guess if you made like chicken and dumplings, they'd be like gray. I don't eat gray food that I know of. Do you eat any gray food? I'm trying to think of a gray food. Just doesn't sound very appetizing to me. But yeah, I got my granny gown on. My husband's like, "I can't believe you go on there in your nightgown." I'm like, "Well, I am a granny and I'll wear a nightgown." Christmas dinner? What do y'all have for Christmas dinner? For Christmas Eve, I generally make lasagna because my son loves lasagna. But Christmas Day, well, let's face it. It has changed throughout the course of my life because uh traditionally we have like ham and turkey or something like that. But my husband's family would do some type of beef. Well, Nicole, I bet you can get a real fresh turkey because you probably have them on your property. I like the sides better than just the turkey. See, Nicole, I'm thinking maybe we're related. I'm thinking so because we got a lot of the same things going on. Um, but anyway, so now we kind of do like a prime rib or a beef loin, big old, like beef Wellington type thing. Um, for Christmas dinner. Um, Now for a while there, good Lord, my father-in-law, before he passed, he loved to help me pick out the meat. And so we would go to the butcher's, and I swear he would get a, a prime rib roast, and it would be almost $200. That thing took up the whole oven. Um, and he loved doing that. That was like his thing. He loved to buy that. And Lord, the mashed potatoes. Good God Almighty. I'd be doing mashed potatoes for hours. And see, I like heavy whipping cream in my mashed and real butter. I don't I don't go for low fat. Mm-mm. I don't care for low fat stuff. But yeah, so I try to keep it pretty. See, okay, my husband loves ham. Absolutely loves ham. It is one of his favorite things in the whole wide world. And so we have ham probably every 2 weeks. But he will still ask me on Thanksgiving, are you going to make a ham? It's like, you want me to make a turkey and a ham. And quite honestly, there's not that many of us. I mean, there used to be, but so we do the turkey and we do the ham. And he don't like no stuff on it. You don't want no glaze on it. Don't put no pineapple eggs or nothing like that. He just wants ham. Uh, but yeah, I could eat right now. I was thinking that earlier I might like a grilled cheese sandwich. Now I don't eat bread, but I was really thinking I might want a grilled cheese sandwich. Sometimes certain things, you know, I fixed Mother and I some tea. We had a little tea party. Because sometimes if I drink something hot, it makes me not hungry anymore. But cherry jam and cocoa mayo. Well, see, now that sounds good to me, but my husband wouldn't like it. He just wants straight ham. Now, I like a fresh pork ham. Have y'all ever had one of those? Ooh, I like those. Me and Mama both like those. And I do those in a big old roaster. I have a roaster that I swear you could fit a small child in. But anyway, that's what I process my tallow and stuff in is my giant roaster. But and then I do bone broth and stuff like that in there too. But I'll get a fresh pork ham and they're pretty good size, and do it in that roaster. Oh my word, it's delicious. Do y'all like pork belly? I've just recently discovered pork belly. Uh, Probably, well, it's about a year, and I get it at Costco when I go to Costco, and oh my word, it's sinful. Just truly sinful. Now, what kind of sides do y'all have with your Thanksgiving? See, my my grandbaby's mom, she loves green bean casserole. And it's all right. I like it fine. But I just as soon just have some fresh green beans. Um, and my husband loves corn. Ooh, the man loves him. Green rice? I don't think I've ever had any green rice. What's green rice? I need more explanation on that one. Um, hey Alan, how you doing? We're talking about what sides you have with your Thanksgiving dinner. I know it's not even close to Thanksgiving, but we're just chatting because I can't sleep. Um, Now, yeast rolls. You know the kind. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what that is. See, now I like. Now we get sweet corn. Now he loves sweet corn. My husband loves sweet corn, and um, mashed potato. Oh, my mother makes the best stuffing slash dressing. And you know what? I really like cranberry sauce. I like the stuff in the can. I like the stuff you make. See, my mama makes a cornbread dressing. Uh, and oh, it's to die for. It really is. And then, of course, oh, don't even get me started on the desserts. But sweet potato casserole. So we've kind of transitioned. Well, big dreams go on to sleep. I'm glad you stopped by. Uh, we have transitioned our sweet potato casserole. This is my sister and I deciding because we basically do all the cooking. Uh, that to be a little bit healthier, we would just do baked sweet potatoes. Cherry cheesecake, that sounds delightful. If all of our holidays are coming really quick, if you look at a calendar, because I get my calendar book out. In fact, I had it today because my husband, we've got to go back up to Ohio. So we were trying to figure out when we could go back to Ohio that wouldn't interfere with the grandbaby's birthday, the holidays, the upcoming holidays. And we don't want to do it on a weekend that she's here. So we have to do it on a weekend when she's at her mother's. Just all this, you know. But anyway, I told him, I said, we need to go ahead and start thinking about our Christmas and Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving's pretty easy because, um, you know, it really and truly it's just us and my sister and her husband because we don't have any other family here, and we don't really invite anybody. Well, that's not true. We have invited people, um, but you know, everybody's got their own lives. Um, oh, the yeast rolls. The yeast rolls are extraordinarily important in our house. Uh, that morning, Thanksgiving, uh, the night before, I make these cinnamon buns, cinnamon roll things that have to rise and stuff. And those are always a huge hit. They're pain to make, but they're a huge hit. Very, and they are delicious, I do have to say. Um, Now I make the desserts, you know, a day or so ahead of time. Um, Pecan or pecan pie is my personal favorite. Uh, but my husband don't like desserts. Isn't that weird? Well, he likes chocolate chip cookies. And he likes angel food cake. How boring. Uh, Mama, she'll pretty much do anything. A nice pound cake's always a good thing to do. Um, I think that the beverages. Now, my husband drinks soda. The rest of us will drink tea. But a lot of people have cocktails and stuff. We don't do any of that. Not to say I'm against it, I'm just saying we don't personally do it. Um, we should all get together sometime and brainstorm what we all should try. You know, some people have like a squash casserole, or uh, I've seen these all kinds of interesting salads that people do. You know, you can get, well, like you look on Paula Deen or that Pioneer Woman, and you know all these different cooking shit. Martha Stewart. You know, Martha's way too fancy for me. I mean, it's beautiful, and I think some of the stuff sounds delicious, but it's just way too fancy for me. But I like to, you know, insert something new into it ever so often, um, just to see if it's going to make the rotation. See, we've never done uh, just meat birds. Now, I, when I say we, I mean my husband and I. Now he has, before he met me, uh, they would. This was when he lived in Ohio. He did the meat birds. Um, I'm not opposed to doing it, but like I said, we live in a. You can't do it where we live. Um, I hope to someday get it so that we would be in Ohio or North Florida more than we are here, and so that we can have some different types of critters and animals and such. But at this point, we're doing good to have a dog, cat, and some fish and chickens. And quite honestly, it ties you to have to be home. And uh, I would like to maybe go travel a little bit if it's affordable. If it's not affordable, I'm perfectly content to stay home. Um, I see these people that, you know, when they go on these vacations and this and that, and I'm like, how do they do that? How can they go spending that kind of money? I just don't happen to have an extra $7,000 laying around to go on vacation. I mean, but more power to them. Go enjoy, have fun. Um, that's just not where we spend our money, but to each their own. I do want to go see some things. I would like to. I've never seen the Grand Canyon. I think it'd be neat. And of course, I can always go out and see Matthew. Well, see, that's the thing. I think that if I were to acquire uh, animals like that, and we were in, say, Ohio or even in North Florida, I think I could hire somebody, like you say, to uh, babysit the animals, um, so that I could still go and do some stuff. Because I don't want to not be able to go and experience things. There's things I want to do with my granddaughter. I want to take her to, what's the name of it? Williamsburg. Williamsburg, Virginia. I want to take her to Colonial Williamsburg. And I'd like to take her some places and just, I'd like to go to Nova Scotia. You know, I'm not opposed to flying over large bodies of water. However, I don't want to get where I can't get back home. That's kind of one of my little fears. I want to be able to get back home if I need to. Um, but like my father's people are from Kentucky, and so I would like to take her up and show her different parts of America, because I think, and even into Canada. Now, my sister lived in Alaska. She and her husband were stationed in Alaska. Um, I might like to go do that, but I think that if I were to do that, I don't want to do one of those cruises. I think I would rather fly into one of the more remote type places and do something that was a little more rustic um, than it touristy. I don't want to do a touristy thing. I'm not real high on doing the touristy thing. So I suppose I've been talking for almost an hour. Good Lord. My mouth just runs and runs and runs. Heavens to Betsy. Now, you know it's going to be a hoot and a half, me trying to get that thing back in this case. It might not go back in the case, but I'm always afraid I'm going to drop it. And if I drop it and break it, my husband will have a hissy fit. Lord help us. All right. Thank you all. Please, please be kind. See, Nicole, if I win that lottery, me and you can go to Alaska. We could drive there. You know how to drive? I don't mean that to be offensive. My daughter don't know how to drive. Um, that would be fun. I just think it would be, it's got a name. I don't remember what the name of Alaskan Highway or something like. I don't know. Or even fly into there. We could take Matthew because that's Radar's Bush Camp. He used to live in Alaska. Yep. He texted me today. He said that might hear from him on Monday. So I guess he's going to try to call me on Monday. We'll see. When he is in his hunting mode, he goes deep. Now, see, my sister would rather drive than fly. I don't care. As long as they stop enough for me to pee. I don't like it when I drive with my husband and I say, you might want to stop. I need to go to the bathroom. And we done past the thing, and then he'll pass the next one. And I'm like, okay, do you want me to pee in the car? So yeah, you got to be able to stop when necessary, if you know what I'm saying. But where was I going with that? I don't remember. Oh Lord, I'm getting old. My lips getting better. If I smile too big, it feels like it's going to rip open, so I try not to smile while it's being healing. And I've been putting my comfrey oil on it so that hopefully it'll heal up a little bit faster. I'm hoping my mullein does really well. It did not do well over the summer. I think maybe it got too hot for it. But I would love to be able to lay in a nice supply of it. Yeah, see, I'm pretty picky. I want a restroom breaks, and I want to be able to get out and walk around. Because if I sit in the car too terribly long, my feet start to swell up, which I know might be way too much information, but I like to get, and I like to stop and see sights. If I say, oh look, there's the largest ball of yarn in the world, I might want to stop and see it. Probably not. But, oh, look, the home of Bigfoot. I might want to go. I may never pass this way again. I might want to stop and see it, Or if it's I don't know. Who knows? There just might be some sights I want to see along the way. So that's my personal opinion on traveling. I don't like to be rigorous with that. Now I do like to stay in a nice place though. If we have to spend the night on the road, I don't want to stay in a dump. I do like to have a nice hotel or take my camper, one of the two, But yeah, I don't want to sleep in a flea bag motel, where they're like selling crack or something. I don't want to do that. But I do like to travel. I like to see new things. I like to eat at restaurants that are not chain restaurants, that are little hole in the wall places, but that have like regional food, you know. It's like if you go to Louisiana, you need to find those kind of places because it's a whole different experience. And then the same thing with, I'm sure, like Missouri or Kansas. I know there's Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas, and they have this big barbecue war about that. And um, I do like barbecue. So just, different regions have different um, specialties, and you're not going to get that at a chain restaurant. You have to go to these little mom and pop restaurants to dine and get those things. So, all right, folks, I've been on here an hour. I appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all have a good night and be blessed. I will see you all soon. I'll be back on Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ciao, ciao. Don't want to keep y'all up all night.